David Hall. Transposing is a really useful skill, particularly if you're writing music for transposing instruments, or if you're working with a singer who can't decide what key they want to sing the song in, or maybe you're accompanying a grade 1 clarinetist who's forgotten his music and you need to read his music and transpose at sight. Now, let's start with the C major scale. Here it is. The basic idea of transposing is to move every note up by exactly the same distance so that you end up with the same tune but slightly higher or slightly lower. So let's take this up a tone. C becomes D, D becomes E, E becomes F sharp because E to F sharp is a tone, E to F is just a semitone. F becomes G, G becomes A becomes B, B becomes C sharp, and the top C becomes a D. So there we've got the C major scale, and then we've got another scale that will sound the same. It's D major, it's exactly the same melody but higher. Now of course I already know the key signature of D major. I could have saved myself a lot of time by saying, okay, we're in C, we're going into D. Here's an example with a piece of music. This piece of music is in C. I want to transpose it into D. That is, change the key, take it up a step. So my new piece, I've got a key signature of D major and I've moved every note up one. Done. That was an easy example because there were no accidentals. As long as you know the scales, that one's fine. Let's take a look at this example. This piece of music has no key signature, so this is also in C, and we're going to change it into the key of D. But first, let's analyse those accidentals. The flat sign in bar 1 alters that B so that it's no longer a B, but it's slightly flatter. The sharp sign makes this F slightly sharper. In the next bar, the sharp sign sharpens that D. The natural sign is not strictly necessary. That takes the F back to what it should be, an F natural, according to the key signature. So I'm going to mark that with a little line. Then the A flat flattens the note. Now when I transpose this into D major, some of those accidentals may change, but their function will remain the same. Here it is in D. This natural flattens the C sharp, just like the B flat above flattened the B. This sharp sharpens the G. E had to be sharpened. The G back to normal, and the B flat is flattened. So most of the accidentals have stayed the same, but the first one is actually a different accidental. It has the same function though, flattening the note. Here's another example. Now this piece has a different key signature. This piece is in the key of F. First let's analyse what the accidentals do. The first accidental, the natural, sharpens the note. The second accidental takes it back to what it should be according to the key signature. The next accidental, the B natural, is sharper, then the B flat is back to rights. If I'm asked to transpose that up a tone, I start by thinking, well, I'm in the key of F, I'm going up a tone into the key of G. So I'll draw my new key signature. Here's the transposition in the key of G. Let's double check those sharpenings and flattenings. The C has to be sharper than normal, then the C natural is back to normal. C sharp sharpens, the natural takes it back to normal. Here's another example. This time we're in the key of B flat. Let's analyse what the accidentals do. There's a sharp sign that sharpens, another sharp sign that sharpens, then there's a natural sign that sharpens the E flat, and then there's a D flat. That flat has flattened the D. Now let's do a different kind of transposing. Let's transpose this down a perfect fifth, which is what you do with horn music. The horn player plays C, you hear an F, which is a perfect fifth lower. So if this was written out for horn, what you would hear would be this. 5 notes lower. So the tonic is no longer B flat, the tonic is E flat. The key signature will do a lot of the work for us. That will take care of most of the transposition. Let's just check the accidentals. I need to sharpen this F. I need to sharpen the C. I need to sharpen this note, which was an A flat, so that becomes an A natural. And then I need to flatten the G. So whenever you're faced with a transposing question in a theory exam, rather than thinking, I'm transposing, think to yourself, I'm changing the key of the piece. Changing key is a useful phrase because it reminds you to change the key. If you're faced with some transposing, first work out what key you're in, then work out what key you're going to. The key signature will do most of the work for you. Then analyse each accidental in terms of whether it sharpens, flattens, or takes things back to normal.
At the piano, try some transposing at sight. Start with a piece in C and change it to D major. Remembering the new key signature, 2 sharps, F and C, will be really important.
Today's challenge is to find a piece in C major and see if you can play every note up 1. So whenever you see a C, you play D. Whenever you play a D, you play E. Whenever you play an E, you have to play F sharp so that it's the same distance up. Now, of course, when you're taking something from the key of C to the key of D, so long as you've got the new key signature in mind, that should take care of all the problems. Just remember to play F sharp and C sharp all the time. Here's the piece I found. It's a piece of Mendelssohn. It's one of his songs without words. In C major, it sounds like this. So if I just take that melody and play it 1 note higher, here I've got to remember a C sharp. I'm playing it in the key of D with the left hand. So far so good. There have been no accidentals, so the key signature has done the hard work for me really. I've just played everything up 1. Now a bit later on there's an F sharp in the original key of C major. Now I have to remember to sharpen that note when I see it in the new key as well, so that's going to be a G sharp. Here we go from the beginning. I'm not going to play it quite as fast as I would in the key of C. So a piece in C, but I played it in D. Choose a piece that suits your ability. If you find it's okay, maybe try taking it down a tone as well. So down a tone from C is B flat. So I'll try and play this down a tone. I've just got to remember B flats and E flats, and that should be okay. So it's a good piece of brain work. It may not be something you ever do in public, but if you practice your transposing, suddenly sight reading seems really easy. Playing something in the key it's written in suddenly seems a much easier task. So do try some transposing. It's very good for the brain.